people trying to come up with solutions to challenges that traders may have. So one of the biggest ones is called strategy chasing. A lot of times we as traders, we experience challenges and struggles, and we look externally for the solution. When the reality is the vast majority of times, the solution is internal, not external. I would say 90% of the time. So if we look at business, for example, you may have heard of a thing called funnels, which is a marketing tool that businesses use to bring in new leads and stuff like that. And sometimes maybe their funnel is not converting and they're not getting leads. So what do? They say, I need a different software tool that'll fix my funnel, when the actual core of the problem is the message that's being said. There's a core fundamental problem with the marketing. It's not the tool you're using to create it. And so some of these external solutions that people seek, instead of hunkering down, reviewing trading plans, looking at specific disciplines that they need to develop based on their own trading habits. But no matter what the strategy is, the core principles need to be applied. Otherwise, the strategy could fail, but it's not the strategy, it's the trader. And that's the thing to keep in mind. So strategy chasing is where a trader, maybe they start to do well, but then they start to not do well. And so what they do is they say, oh my gosh, I need to find a better strategy. And so they go out and they pay for another strategy. And then, okay, it start to do well, and then they start to fall off. And they're like, oh my gosh, this must be a bad strategy now. I need a new strategy. And they keep chasing these strategies one after another. And before they know it, it's years in, and they're either at a loss or a break-even point. They've really not progressed financially at all, and it's a struggle.
So what are the secrets? How do some of the most successful entrepreneurs find the freedom that we all got into business for in the first place? How did they find the time, energy, and resources to launch and scale strong? And how do entrepreneurs like us align our time, money, and energy in a way that will allow us to reach what we set out to achieve? These are the key questions, and this community will give you the answers. Welcome to the Prosperity Movement. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Prosperity U podcast, where we are here dedicated to helping you drive more impact and income so you can do more of the things you love with the people you love most. Our mission is to impact the world by bringing life-giving principles of prosperity to it. Our vision is to guide our community to back engineer their full power potential with purpose-driven growth so they can do more of the things they love with the people they love most. And our values are comprised of 3 I's. Number 1, impact. Number 2, integrity. And then intentionality. So impact, in order to impact the world, we value time, health, and relationships, as well as legacy, relentlessly at the highest level. With integrity, we value people over profits, and we are driven and dedicated to the success of our community. With intentionality, we provide result-oriented support through mentorship to ignite an inspired and focused community. And with that being said, Zach and the team have been working on something incredibly impactful called Trading Industry Exposed. Now, we've got so many different ways that people have been coming in. One of the primary ways that we're seeing roughly 350 people a week come through right now, 1,400 a month, just under 17,000 a year at this rate. Last year was about 50 people a week. So you can see that we're kind of growing in a foundational year, nevertheless, at a rapid rate. And so why don't you kind of kick us off here, Zach, and talk a little bit about what is coming with this Trading Industry Exposed program?
Well, so I always kind of love the story of Vince Lombardi. So Vince Lombardi is a pretty famous NFL football coach, specifically for the Packers, and I grew up in Wisconsin, so Vince Lombardi was like taught in public schools. But one of the things that they talk about with him, and one of the things that he would do every single season, is he would like hold up a football and be like, "This is a football." And he would always bring it back to basics, right? Mm. And so I find that very, very useful. And a lot of times in life, when things start getting complicated, it's interesting if you take a step back and you say, let me get back to basics. It's pretty interesting how effective that can bring some clarity for you and those kinds of things. And so the trading industry as a whole has gotten pretty complicated. Okay, pretty complicated. There's strategies, there's brand new indicators getting developed, there's bots out there. There's these things called prop firms that people take advantage of. There's all sorts of different crazy things that you can do in the world of trading. And sometimes it's good to take a step back and say, this is a pip. This is a bar. This is a candle. Let's get back to basics. And if in honor of Travis, who's not able to be here today, the same thing applies to going to a gym.
Everybody just anybody who listens in every week just knows why that's so funny.
Yeah. So, but I think about it like this as well is Travis will always say like, look, if you want to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. And you need to work out. It's literally that simple, right? And of course there are things involved with macronutrients and things like that, and those are important if you want to get a specific physique, right? But if we were to break it down to basics, calorie deficit, exercise, right? And so still super effective. That's still hyper effective. And so we think about trading. The thing that happens with trading, and this is kind of a good thing in a way. It's capitalism. It's people trying to come up with solutions to challenges that traders may have. So one of the biggest ones is called strategy chasing. Oh, so sorry, before we dive into that, we're talking about Trading Industry Exposed. This is a course that I have completed.
Is
And
it finished?
it is finished, yeah.
Whoa, bro.
So we're ready to launch that bad boy. But it's a course that talks about these distractions, call it shiny objects in the trading world, and the reality behind them. So if it's okay with you guys, I can even give you a little sneak peek of some of the slides and stuff if you want.
I'm
But
excited. I didn't even know this was gonna happen. Let's go. This is exciting.
so, but the idea is really just to shed some light, because a lot of times we as traders and entrepreneurs do the same thing. We experience challenges and struggles, and we look externally for the solution. When the reality is, the vast majority of times, the solution is internal, not external. I would say 90% of the time. And it's good. And that's why taking a
What do you
step
mean
back.
by that, though? What do you mean by
Yeah.
that, though? Can you dive into a little bit the internal versus external?
Yeah, okay. Well, let's talk about like in the world of business, for example, let's because this applies to a lot of different things, not just trading, right? So if we look at business, for example, um, you may have heard of a thing called funnels, which is a marketing tool that businesses use to bring in new leads and stuff like that. We use them, right? And sometimes maybe their funnel is not converting and they're not getting leads. So what do? They say, "Oh, I'm using high level right now. I must need ClickFunnels. I need a different software tool that'll fix my funnel," when the actual core of the problem is the message that's being said, right? Or it's the offer being presented, right? There's a core fundamental problem with the marketing. It's not the tool you're using to create it.
So when you're staying internal, it's the solution, not looking to the tools so much as the
Right.
present.
Your funnel doesn't need a fancy FAQ that can expand and minimize.
Okay,
Or
so now let's use an example in trading. Like a lot of people will think in this case, you're saying strategy chasing, that, oh, it's the strategy. There's something wrong with the strategy. Moreover, it could be something internally where they're missing the mark because they're just not
it's
seeing something that
it's
they need.
most likely discipline.
Okay, most likely discipline. And the other thing is like I'm a really huge on seeking to understand. In Matthew 7:8, seeking you shall find, ask you shall receive, knock and the door will be open to you. Like, you don't know what you don't know. I remember when I was first starting out and I would sit there and I'd be like, I swear I did everything that the thing told us to do. And that's why the accountability system that we had to actually record your sessions and see. I remember I used to send you videos and you'd be like, I can get why you're so frustrated, Brian, but like, dude, this and this. And I was like, you know, like that, those are so huge. So again, it was an internal thing. And internally, I had to get to a place where I could, one, take responsibility, two, reach out for help and get the proper accountability, and then three, make the adjustments. Right. So that wasn't that wasn't an external problem where some people point and blame the market or blame an indicator or blame whatever. It was an internal thing that I needed to get through a bunch of things in order to get to where I want to go.
Yeah.
I had to change. How many people here don't like change or don't want to change for anybody? You raise your hand.
It sucks, but it's necessary. It's not comfortable, but would you rather be comfortable or successful? Because those are
Well, and here's the thing: success, though, we got to be careful of that because success is what's the word I'm looking for? Subjective. Success
right.
is subjective. I think the magic word is secure,
Comfortable or secure. I like that.
because the reality is to be secure sometimes means pushing outside of a comfort zone. It
Yeah.
means to grow. It means like it's security is not complacency. A lot of people will look at security as like comfort. Security is not comfortable. Security is something that needs to be worked towards. It needs to be established. It needs to be like foundations need to be set. Boundaries need to be set, right? Accountability needs to be had, right? Like that's ultimately what true security is all about.
Yeah.
Communicating during times that you don't necessarily feel like communicating. It's communicating during times that it's not comfortable to face a problem. It's communicating during times when it's not comfortable to admit that, ah, it's communicating during times that you're being challenged
Mm,
and don't like being challenged.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so some of these external solutions that people seek, instead of hunkering down, reviewing trading plans, looking at specific disciplines that they need to develop based on their own trading habits, right? These are things that will course correct no matter what strategy you're using. Literally, it does not matter what strategy you're using if those things are true. And of course, if the strategy works and has been proven by others. In this case, in our in our little repertoire of strategies, they've been back tested and tested forward for a very long time. And but no matter what the strategy is, the core principles need to be applied. Otherwise, the strategy could fail. But it's not the strategy; it's the trader, and that's the thing to keep in mind. So strategy chasing is where a trader, maybe they start to do well, but then they start to not do well. And so what they do is they say, "Oh my gosh, I need to find a better strategy." And so they go out and they pay for another strategy. And then, okay, it start to do well, and then they start to fall off. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, this must be a bad strategy now. I need a new strategy." And they keep chasing these strategies one after another. And before they know it, it's years in, and they're either at a loss or a break even point. They've really not progressed financially at all. And it's a struggle. And we talk to those people all the time, every day.
They created more confusion for themselves
Yeah.
over and over again. Yeah.
Yeah. That's only one external thing that traders will do instead of hunkering down with their discipline. Um, Another very common one that's talked about in the new course is trading bots. Now, there is definitely some appeal to this idea of having a bot trade for you, because is a bot perfectly disciplined? Yeah, right? So if we're talking about these discipline things where all these things must happen in order to take a trade or something like that, a bot is going to execute that perfectly. Here's the challenge. Okay, so here's where I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a little bit. I'll give you a little sneak peek. Little sneak peek. Let me get it going, then I'll share my screen. I don't know. I think the slide is kind of funny, so we'll see if you guys think it's kind of funny. But um, sharing my screen. So here's what people think, and they're not totally far off. There's a piece of this equation that is missing though. And by the way, these are some quotes that I've kind of combined from different forums and stuff where I've seen traders talking about this stuff. So here's what people think about bots. Isn't the whole goal of trading to develop a well-defined strategy using several objective parameters to stay consistent? How could a human possibly outperform a computer in that regard? This especially confuses me since it would take emotion out of the game completely. Okay, that's it sounds right, but there's a piece to this equation that is very much missing that is very, very important. Here's the reality of bots. There are faulty strategies. Strategies have to adapt to the market. There are some universal principles like support and resistance and things like that, but winning indicators, trading processes will likely evolve over time to adapt to market conditions. It's like this. If you had a robot arm, okay, and it was to shoot basketballs, a basketball shooting robot can make a basket every single time from the exact same position on the court under exactly the same conditions with all variables carefully controlled. Trading bots are the same, but what happens if the market conditions are not the same? Right? What if news happens longer than usual? What if someone new got into presidency and it messed up the whole market and the trajectory of that market? There are so many things that a bot can't see and a bot can't adapt to, right? And so the other thing that is a challenge with depending on bots is the fact that you're dependent. Okay, I gave the robot arm a little face. Okay, so if you're dependent on the bot, well, what happens if the bot metaphorically gets hit by a bus? Right? So now all of a sudden, boom, the bot stops working. Boom, there goes your income. You're left at square one. Right? And that's just obviously no bueno. And again, that's an external solution that is not even needed. We have strategies, and with the proper amount of discipline and knowledge of the markets, you literally become unstoppable. One of the stats I found in putting this course together, Brian, by the way, is an interesting one. So we talk about 97% of the trading population outside of our community. 97% of them are not profitable on a day-to-day basis, right? What do you think the percentage is of people that are profitable after a year? It's even lower. 99.6% of traders cannot be profitable more after a year. 99.6%. Do you guys know how many pips James lost last year total in all of his trades? How many he lost? How many you guys that are here
last year?
Yeah, don't say it out loud if you know it, Brian. You guys in the chat here, if you could, what do you think? How many pips do you think James lost in total for 2023 out of all the trades that he took? Keep in mind, we know he gained 23,000, more than 23,000. Okay, Ludwig guessed 25. Okay. Leslie guessed 4 or 5. Good. It was 50 pips. All right. It was 19 pips.
I thought it was 15, but you're saying 19.
19.
It
19
was
pips.
19. Okay, 19 pips total over 5 plays.
Yeah.
Okay. Over 5 losing plays. That means how many thousands of plays did he take? And how many pips did you say it was again? It was 21,000 or how many?
Over 23,000.
Over 23. So let's just go 23,000. We understand that he's doing 50-pound lot sizes. 50 pounds is closer to $75. So times $75. That is 1.7 million, close to $2 million. Now, understand that this is not counting scaling in because there are times when he will scale in. Yeah. So that's just like
baseline. Yep. That's baseline. So Ludwig won. He got closest with his guess of 25. But yeah, 19 pips is all. So if we're talking about 99.6% of traders in the market who are chasing strategies, who are finding bots, who are signing up for prop firms, they cannot be profitable after a year. James Leone is among the 0.4%. And by the way, so are the vast majority of our members.
And let's talk about prop firms for a second too, because a lot of these prop firms, what do they entrust you with? They entrust you with, like, you go through this process of going from demo to managing a large account, like $100,000 account, typically, like something large, because you're making, I think, what, 3% on average prop firm or something like that you're actually taking home of what you make.
Yeah. Here, do you want me to share my slides on the prop firms?
Okay, because yeah, please do. But I just want to share this because the reality is that most people know, like that are over here and really consistent, they know that there's a difference between moving to demo to live. And
Mm,
that the emotions, no matter if it's a cent, a dollar, or $50 or whatever, don't change. There's an emotional transition that happens from going to demo to live. So imagine for a second, for those that are on this call or that are listening to this, and they know that we teach you take something small and turn it into something significant, the feelings that you go through with that amount and the feelings that you would go through having a loss on $100,000 account and what that would do to you. And in the meantime, you have a quota expectation every single week to hit. And if you don't hit
oh
it,
yeah.
you're booted. You are booted.
And
Now,
that's if you make it.
James always says that like the whole point of trading is to learn how to do this so that you can get out of a job, not to have a job.
Mm,
You are literally on a job when you are with a prop firm, and you
very,
got to produce. If you don't produce,
very accurate. There's even some other interesting facts about prop firms too that I think you guys might find interesting. I'm gonna share my screen again here.
yep.
So here's what people think about prop firms. Well, if I pass my evaluation, I'll get $100,000 and I'll take 90% of the profits. Okay.
What?
So, yeah, some
That's
prop
not how it works.
well, you get the $100,000 and then from there, whatever you trade, if you make $1,000, you make $900 of that thousand.
That's not how it works.
In some of them, it is, but
Really
isn't that
interesting.
crazy? I know some of them I found that's how it works. That's the best case scenario. However, there's some interesting other facts that are really important. Okay. First off, let's review 97% of traders outside of our community fail. Okay. So here's what prop firms do they charge anywhere from $500 to $2,000 for that evaluation. And 97, and plus they have subscription fees. 97% of those people that sign up for those evaluations fail. So that's just literally money in the bank for these prop firms. Okay. The other 3%, they only have to fund the other 3%. And then, like Brian said, now you're working for them. Okay. Now, here's the thing these are major prop firms that are currently out of business. They were major 2 years ago. They are no longer in business, no longer a thing. Okay. This business model is proving to be not good. Okay. And again, bring it back to not working for someone. What happens if your prop firm gets hit by a bus? Right? Again, you're still dependent on something
Nobody
outside of
thinks you're
your
gonna get by
control.
a bus. I like your presentation so far. I haven't. I can't wait to go back and watch this thing. It's so funny.
the whole the whole goal is independency, right? Where you are fully independent. You're building legacy with your own funds. Guys, you can start with a very small amount in your trading account to build it to something significant. And it's just a matter of having the right discipline, having accountability, and having a coach or a mentor. I mean, those are really the things that'll help you stop looking externally and let's look internally. Let's get back to basics, right? This is a football. This is a candle. Let's get back to basics and just do the good old fashioned work that it takes to build a skill.
Mm, love it. So good, man. That's powerful. Super incredibly powerful. I uh I look forward to seeing the impact of this trading industry exposed because like there's that's the thing. I have the privilege of connecting with new people that come through here, and I also have the seeing the other side. That's my favorite thing is guiding someone through their first introductory to seeing their progress over the weeks that they join, over the months, the years. And it's just so fun to be able to witness the light bulbs go off and people progressing and um actually, Kelly has been so much fun to watch. She's on
Yeah.
her live account. Do you know how, like, she's been so diligent on her demo account for so long? She's on her live account. Like, we haven't really, made a big stink out of this or anything, or made a big deal out of this in our chats, but she is confidently posting was it 5% on 2 sessions? Like I think there was 5% the other day, 5% today. Like that's amazing on her live account. And she was with another organization before this, struggling. And yes, did she wrestle over here? Yes, but it's so much fun. Oh, look at she's piping up. Discipline. Showed up every day to the gym. She
Yes.
showed up to the gym every day. She keeps showing up to the gym. She keeps showing up to the gym. This woman is an inspiration. And I'm just so like oh well, man, our educators are world class. But it's so much fun to me to be able to witness that, to see other people coming from other organizations where they weren't getting the proper support, they weren't getting the results. They come over here, they experience something so completely incredibly different. That to me, that's my purpose key. That's where I get my fulfillment. You know, James talks about when he sees his students succeeding, he gets this tingling feeling up his left arm and up his left cheek or whatever. I just like it just goes up my spine. Like I was like, whoa! Like I love that. It gets me so excited every day to witness that. And it's ramping up and it's getting bigger and better and you know, with consistency, and it's just so much fun to be a part of.
So so I'll tell you, um, I started this new account at the beginning of the year, and I was just playing around really. So I was doing like a penny a pip, okay, like insignificant, very insignificant numbers, focusing only on pip counts, and having a good win rate and a good hold percentage, etc. And so I was kind of messing around with that until this week I decided to. It was actually last week I was going to go to gate one, and then I decided not to. And then this week I actually went to gate
For more
one.
context, as you're doing this, because obviously you're
Thank
one
you.
of the leaders of this organization, you were doing binary primarily before this, and now you're moving into this because you were the binary educator. Now we're moving into like full throttle forex with the
Yeah.
beast from Ireland over there.
Yeah.
So I'll let
Exactly.
you keep going now, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's good. That's really good context. Yeah, making the switch myself, and we have these things called the gates, and this is something that James created, the gate system. And essentially what it is, it's a way to manage how much risk to put into your trades, right? And you start with small amounts of risk as you're building your muscle, and then you slowly increase it. So I started with less than gate one to kind of build my muscle with like I'm basically just lifting the bar, okay? I'm not having any weights. Okay. And then this week I decided, you know what? I'm gonna finally put those first plates on. I'm gonna get onto gate one and do some lifting. And it took me 3 days to gate. So the rule is you're in one gate. Well, gate one specifically is for 40 pips. Once you're over 40 pips, you move on to gate two. So it took me 3 days and I hit my 40 pips. Literally Tuesday, Wednesday, and today. And boom,
Mm,
that includes my losses. So I had a couple of small losses. I had a bunch of big wins, and ta-da! I ended up with a total net of 40 pips positive, right, for the week. So that's amazing. That's amazing. It doesn't take much if you just follow the process, right? And so anyway, it's anyone can do it, and you can start with a small amount, and you slowly add more plates on, right? So then I can go to gate two, and then you get the 40 pips, and then I can go to gate three, right? And you slowly add those plates on until you get to James's level or beyond.
hmm And to be fair, I mean, we do have a lot of like James is always posting things about people graduating at prop firms and stuff. And so we're here helping people with that. We just want to encourage you understanding that like James preaches a better way. We're preaching a better way, which is like take something small and turn it into something significant. I mean, we've seen over here, there are people over here making an extra few $100s a month, an extra few $1,000s a month that are paying their mortgage off, click of a button, 80 minutes a month. To we've seen people, you know, $100,000 weeks, $200,000 weeks, $100,000 days because of James's full day. He does a full day session once a month. We've got students that trust James and are actually, you know, doing 200 pound and $200 lot sizes. Like it's not everybody could and should be doing that. Again, you should be following the gate system and starting with something small, turning it into something significant. We've seen people take $50 to $15,000 in a matter of weeks. I've watched, Dave Wimbush take an account of $50 to multiple thousands of dollars multiple times at this point. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to start with $100,000 account, which is like the equivalent of a 500-pound deadlift on day one.
Right.
That's just wisdom is not to do that unless you're gunning to hurt yourself. And depending on how bad you hurt yourself, like when you hurt yourself in the gym and you have a muscle that rips or something like that, you're out for months. Do you know what happens when, like, I've literally in my career so far, I have a $20,000 loss in a 10-minute span.
Hmm.
Psychologically, the pain that you go through with that kind of stuff and what it does to you, like we don't see that stuff in our community because that was a good learning experience. That was enough for me. It was house money, but still, I don't care. Like, that is a learning experience that you do not need to go through, shouldn't go through, and we don't want you to. And you can learn from other people's mistakes and just don't have it happen because I'm telling you, I cried. I went through an emotional, like, and it took me out. I could not like actually bring myself to trade for quite some time. So
Yeah.
do you want to go and do something silly and hurt yourself psychologically and pull yourself out of the game for an extended amount of time, or do you want to do this properly?
Yeah. Yeah. Which at the end of the day is back to basics, right? I mean, it's just good old fashioned practice, discipline, accountability, listening to your coach. Don't think you know more than you do, right? I mean, I've done some pretty outstanding things in the binary trading world. And when I made the switch over to Forex here this year, I'm a baby again. Teach me everything. I don't know jack squat.
Mm.
And I have no doubt, I have zero doubts that my Forex account that I just started this year is probably going to be a six-figure income for me by the end of it. Right. And that's just following the process. Teach me, hold me accountable. I have a trading plan. I stick to that trading plan. That's it. Very simple. I'm a robot that can adapt with the market. There you go. Be your own personal trading bot. How about that?
So good. So good.
Well, what
Awesome.
do you think? Should we cut it short today? A little bit shorter?
Yeah, I think that was pretty packed, man. That was a lot of really great information. And so what do you feel the give should be today for somebody who decides to go through some of the next steps?
Hmm. Well, we still have our blueprints, so I think we should still give that. And we're working on restructuring it a little bit, but in the meantime, what we have is really, really fantastic and has provided wonderful impact for people. And so, guys, if you want to join our community, hop on with us, learn these strategies and discipline and doing it the right way. And go to our website, it's prosperitymovement.online. And on the bottom right hand corner of there's a little chat bubble. You put in your information and type the word discipline in there. And then someone from our team will reach out and give you the blueprint for free, complimentary, so that you can start to go through that, start to kind of understand some of the things we have. Um, I suppose I could give Trading Industry Exposed away. I think it's actually fully ready to give. Uh,
Awesome.
so maybe we'll give both, right?
Nice.
So type in there. We'll give you the blueprint. We'll also give you this Trading Industry Exposed course. And for those of you that are members, don't worry, it'll be in the hub soon. So you'll get it. It's just part of your package, right? So okay, does everyone get it? So prosperitymovement.online, type discipline in the chat box bubble thing, and then we'll pass on this course, Trading Industry Exposed. You can get all the stats, you can get all the problems, and you can get all the solutions. It's all outlined in that course. Very, very it's a very short course too. It's probably like maybe an hour long total over 7 videos. So very short, easy to consume, good course to watch.
Brilliant. Absolutely love it. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks everyone. Adios.
Bye.